Woo! I got some big news for gamers this week. Let's talk about it. Before that, this video is brought to you by VIPCDKDeals.com. CDK Deals is a website dedicated to getting you the best prices on games and software, and right now you can get a Windows 10 Pro OEM key for an insanely low price. Just find the best price and apply my special discount code GPC20 for an additional 35% off. You can also check out securely with PayPal, and once the payment is cleared, you should get access to the code both in your account as well as in your email. In order to activate the new copy of Windows 10, just search Activate under Windows and type in your key. So if you want to learn more, be sure to click the link in the description below. That's right, a couple of big stories came out this week that I think you guys are really gonna like. And taking a look at the first one here, which by the way, this information comes from videocards.com, and as always, I will have all my sources linked in the description below, so you can go ahead and read the full article if you want to. But in any case, this is actually in regards to AMD finally moving some GPUs over to the 6nm node. Now, if you don't know, this is an absolutely huge deal because AMD has been seriously constrained by the TSMC 7nm node. I mean, not only do they have all their GPUs on TSMC 7nm, but they also have all of their CPUs and even consoles all on the exact same node. So as you can imagine, yes, this is causing an absolutely huge issue when it comes to AMD being able to produce enough of basically anything. But you know, taking a look at GPUs especially, they have been definitely pretty absent there, at least this time around. I mean, you take a look at Nvidia and they are outproducing AMD by a very significant margin, but even Nvidia is still not able to keep up with the demand. So if AMD is able to move some of their GPUs over to 6nm, which it looks like they're going to be doing very soon, at least according to this article, then yes, this is going to help. Now, the GPUs in question that we're talking about here are the RX 6500 XT and the RX 6400. So if you're expecting like a 7900 XT to be coming out next week or something, no, that's not going to be the case. But either way, this is an absolutely huge deal for gamers because honestly, there's basically no options for gamers right now in the entry-level market. I mean, you have to go back to something like the RTX 2060, and even that is still very, very expensive and very hard to find. So if AMD is able to increase their production significantly by moving to TSMC 6nm, which I believe it is going to be TSMC, well then yeah, that's going to actually finally give someone an option who's looking for a card between 100 and maybe 300 US dollars that's actually available. So this is big news for all gamers, I think just all around the world, because honestly, again, finally they're gonna have something to choose from. They're not gonna be forced into buying a higher tier GPU for way more than what it's worth, and hopefully this only continues to allow them to create more and more GPUs, allowing everyone to have a better time. Now, in terms of the specs, the RX 6500 XT apparently has 1024 shaders, which is actually exactly half of the 6600 XT. It has 4 gigabytes of G6 running at 16 gigabits per second, so once again half the amount of memory, and a TDP of 107 watts. So it is going to be significantly slower, but again, a great option for those budget gamers. Now, moving on to the 6400, apparently this thing's going to have 768 shaders, 4 gigabytes of G6 once again, except for running at 14 gigabits per second, and a TDP of 53 watts. And apparently the release dates for these, the 6500 XT is going to be January of 2022, and the 6400 is going to have a release date of March 2022. So not too far away, and finally when they release, somebody's going to finally be able to buy something. And I think between this as well as Intel launching their new GPUs, things are going to start to get a little bit better. Now, going into 2022, supply shortages are still going to be an issue, but I do believe they are going to start to get better as time goes on in 2022, as we all know that at least supposedly we are going to seeing proof of stake or Ethereum 2.0 hitting at some point in mid 2022, which should significantly reduce the amount of demand coming from miners. Now, are they going to sell everything off? Probably not, but at the very least, they'll probably be competing far less with you to try and buy new GPUs. But wait, there's more! So actually, there's another big story that came out this week, and it is in regards to the RTX 3090 Ti. Now, as a real quick recap, if you don't know, the 3090 Ti is basically just going to be a slightly more powerful RTX 3090. It's going to have a few more CUDA cores. It's going to have a little bit more memory bandwidth at 1 terabyte per second. Maybe the most exciting thing is it's also supposedly going to have all its memory on the front, as it's going to be using 16 gigabit modules instead of 8 gigabit, which means no more hot memory on the back. So I know a lot of people are really going to like that, but overall it's just going to be a little bit faster than the regular 3090. But you know, even though it's only a little bit faster, a lot of people are very excited because again, it is the new fastest. So yeah, there's a lot of people who are very excited about this thing, but we do have some more information courtesy of Video Cards once again, as it looks like a new NDA was just leaked online showing what appears to be an MSI variant of the RTX 3090 Ti And if you take a look at this NDA here, you can see that apparently it has a release date of January 27th at 6 a.m. Pacific time. So that's actually coming up here pretty soon. So if you're someone who's looking to build the fastest PC possible, well, it looks like the RTX 3090 is no longer going to be it, and you're going to have to wait until January 27th to try and buy the RTX 3090 Ti. Now, in terms of supply, it's probably going to be, I would guess, a little bit worse than the RTX 3090, just simply because it's the full die of the 3090, so I imagine that the yields are going to be a little bit lower, and it's going to be expensive, but there's probably also going to be a lot less demand for it, just considering how high the expense is really going to be. If you want to take a guess, I would say probably somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 US this thing's going to come in at. So yeah, it's going to be a very expensive GPU, and to top all that off, it's also going to be a very power-hungry GPU, likely coming in at around 450 watts, with some AIB models even pushing higher than that. There may be some overclocking settings where you can enable up to 500 plus watts for an RTX 3090 Ti. So if you want to run one of these overclocked, and you also want to run an overclocked CPU, you're going to have a heck of a power supply to run these things. I mean, we're talking probably 1,000 watt minimum, maybe 1,200 watts plus, if you want to be overclocking these various different parts, because yeah, they are drawing a lot of power now. But hey, I guess that's just one more little piece of the puzzle of the price that you gotta pay to have the fastest. But hey, that's just what I think. Do you think that AMD moving their entry-level cards onto 6nm is gonna help, or do you think it won't make much of a difference? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like. Every time you do so, AMD and Nvidia get more stock. Also, if you want to see more, click here. You won't be disappointed.